Good evening, and this is Bean and Mitch. Live updates and live taping of your unemployment benefits. This is the show on afternoons Lalate answers your questions live on air about unemployment, UI, PUA, FPUC, and more. Retroactive, non-retroactive, and how that's impacted by the current second stimulus package that's being proposed by Congress and the third stimulus package in the next few days. If you're just joining me tonight, let me go over a couple of details which have caused some people to get a little bit confused, not from here, but somewhere else. On Facebook minutes ago, someone posted something on the LLA Facebook page that said, well, just breaking, they passed a stopgap to continue the federal budget bill for another week. No. No, they did not. That there's gossip that they're considering doing a extension of the federal budget bill for a week. They have not even written any bill. They've not introduced a bill, and they've not voted on a bill. So that is absolutely untrue. So as you join me tonight, the important thing I want you to understand is where your unemployment benefits are, where they are currently, where they could be in a couple weeks, where they could be at the end of January, and what they could be in thereafter. For the first time, I think, ever on this channel, we're actually dealing with no less than three different issues about unemployment. Unemployment till now, unemployment till January, and unemployment after January. The reason of the confusion is because there's two different unemployment bills that are actually going to happen. There's one now, which is the federal budget bill, and then there's the one in January, the big Biden third stimulus package. Let me explain where we are right now before we get to the current bill, so you are so we're all together. And I'll answer your questions shortly in this recording, so you're up to date as well. What's important to understand is that CARES Act 1 in March created three instruments only for CARES Act 1, and those three instruments expire or have expired. The first one was FPUC, and that goes on top of your unemployment benefits, whether you are a UI, a W-2, or an independent contractor, a PUA. FPUC ran from March to July. So FPUC still to this day pays $600 a week for your weeks of March to July. Then after July, FPUC expired. It's still not been extended. Your UI weeks continued, your W-2 UI weeks continued, and then your PUA weeks continued. For some viewers, your UI or PUA weeks have expired, but the vast majority of Americans, over 20 million Americans, will lose their unemployment benefits if they've been on them since at least March in just a few days. And that's where we are today. Before I get to the solutions that they're proposing, let me explain everything from today, what is today? December 5th? December 5th back to March, what you can do. Whatever's going to happen next week with Congress has nothing to do with what I'm about to explain to you right now. From January to June, from March to June, you are still owed $600 a week FPUC. So, for example, and this is a video I started doing this video months ago. So, for example, if you never thought to ask for unemployment until today, but we're on lockdown on March 20th of this year and we're unable to work because of a lockdown, and you didn't realize you qualified for PUA until watching this video, then what you can do is you could apply for PUA for that March 20th lockdown until you became employed. So, for example, if you're watching this video and you're saying, wait a second, I was unemployed March 20th because of a lockdown, And then I remained unemployed till June. I knew I could go get PUA. Yeah, you can. So you can go to your state's unemployment website, file an application from March 20th to June, and you will get PUA and you'll get $600 a week of FPUC. What's important to understand is that even though, I'm going to say this really slowly so you understand it because it's a little strange, even though FPUC, the $600 a week, expired in July by the federal government, they still pay $600 a week for weeks that you were unemployed from March to July. All right, so now I think we're all up to date to getting us up to where we are today. The other thing that I can give you to get you up to today's date is escalated benefits. Now, as I said on the show a lot, the word or expression escalated benefits is a term that I came up with, but there is no particular name or catchphrase or federal term to describe what I'm about to describe to you. But the situation exists in every single state. They just don't have a name for it. So it's sort of like you like rum and Coke. Well, you know the ingredients are rum and Coke. So if I say I like a rum and Coke, I like a rum and Coke. But in Nashville, Tennessee, they call rum and Coke a dirty Nathan John. Well, what's a dirty Nathan John? I never heard of that word. Don't call up someone in New York and say, I want a dirty Nathan John like they gave me in Nashville. They won't know what you're talking about. But if you say, I want a rum and Coke, they'll know what you're talking about. So what I want you to understand is that you can do escalated benefits for the weeks that you were unemployed, anytime from the pandemic up to the present and going forward, during the weeks in which you were unemployed. The number one question I get is, I was unemployed, but now I'm employed. Can I still do escalated benefits? Yes. So you could do escalated benefits for the weeks you're unemployed, and then when the weeks you're employed, you obviously don't do it. How much money is escalated benefits? Every state has an entry-level number that they pay per week, and they also have a maximum amount that they pay per week. Some states, the minimum is 100 and the maximum is 500. So who's getting 500 and who's getting 100? Sirloin is getting 500. No, who's getting the 500 and I'm only getting 100? That's why you're tuning into me, because that's how you escalate your benefits, raise your benefits. If you made over $30,000 a year in 2019, you will be at the maximum level of benefits almost every single time. If you made $25,000 a year, you'll probably raise your benefits about $100 a week. And if you made over $18,000 in 2019, you'll raise your benefits about $50 a week. So if you have been unemployed for 20 weeks during the time in which you're watching this recording, either off or on, but about 20 weeks, and you made over $30,000, you will get $10,000 approximately retroactive escalated benefits in your account. Bam. Very easy. Every state will do that. Then, if you made over $25,000 but less than 30, you'll raise it about $100 a week, which will be about $5,000. Bam, right in your account. And finally, if you made $18,000 or more but less than $25,000, you raise about $50 a week. Bam, right in your account. Again, raising your unemployment benefits is done in every single state. They all do it, and they all do it retroactively. Unemployment departments sometimes have very good people on the phone and sometimes very bad people. I've had viewers say they called up someone in Texas, and in Texas, they said the maximum weekly benefits in Texas is $100 a week. So you're going to have bad people on the phone. What I want you to do is I want you to look up your maximum benefits in your state on Google. It takes 1 second. So you know the numbers before you call. If you get someone bad on the phone, just say thank you, goodbye, call back and speak to someone else. Next, if you're just joining me 9 minutes into this recording, Being a Mitch is my afternoon's recording in which I answer your questions about unemployment, UI, and PUA. Holidays Lalate, our midday recording, goes over stimulus checks. And then Purple Power at night goes over state stimulus checks and CARES Act 1 money. If you have questions about what the current update is on your stimulus check, watch afternoon's check, which is in the pinned comment here and in the pinned comment over there. That was recorded less than an hour ago. That's the latest update, and the next update will be on evening's check in about an hour from now. Then it brings us to where we are now. What is Congress doing? Well, Congress is trying to do two things, and both of them they agree upon. That's the only thing they agree upon. Extending your UI so it does not expire, and extending your PUA so it does not expire to at least late January. Do you have to do anything? At the moment, it appears nothing. Do you have to do something particular? The only thing that I'm concerned about is some of you who ran out of weeks, your benefits have already stopped, and you are required to maybe reapply or do something with your state. Pay attention to your state's website if the stimulus bill and the CR is passed, because your state's going to explain what's going to happen. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be something like your benefits will continue uninterrupted, or people's benefits stopped in early December and they'll pick up, blah, 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 blah. What's important for you to do is the following. At least one time per week, go into your state's unemployment website account and make sure you certify for benefits. Certify for benefits every week, because whatever happens with Congress, when it happens, they will look at the file and say, oh, he certified for benefits. Well, let's pay him. Now, the person who didn't certify for benefits, because they're just sort of waiting to see what Congress does, they won't pay that person as fast. Next, the important thing that you're asking about is FPUC. What's going on with FPUC? Is FPUC retroactive? And there's actually a really good question. Jose is asking, is unemployment retroactive? So just the UI and the PUA. Before I get to FPUC, is the UI and the PUA retroactive? That is the case in which your UI, your unemployment benefits, has run out sometime in this month, and you're not having benefits for this week or next week, and then suddenly they extend it, and now you're covered till January. Are you going to get those 2 weeks you are missing? Yeah, I don't see any universe in which they're not going to pick up those 2 weeks of December or November where your benefits stopped for UI and PUA. All right, now let's go forward with FPUC. You get a lot of questions about FPUC, and let me explain where that's going and what I think is going to happen with it. FPUC is that extra thing, that icing on the cake that goes on top of your UI and your PUA. It goes on top of your UI and your PUA. You have not had FPUC checks since July, when it expired. FPUC expired in July. We all know about LWA, but for purposes of Congress and you and me, LWA is not FPUC. So don't think I got something for whatever. That was LWA. It is not FPUC. Your FPUC expired in July. So you have not gotten FPUC in August, September, October, November, and now in December. You've not gotten it for 5 months. Are you going to get FPUC this month? I don't think it's going to happen. There is one of the proposals in the CR, the continuing resolution, to give you FPUC for 4 weeks. I don't know what that means. It's just really stupid to say, okay, let's just give people FPUC for a very bad number forward for 4 weeks. And then in January, we'll clean it up and we'll put more money on top of it. And then we'll go back and go retroactive. It's just messy. And you know what it reminds me of? You know what it reminds me of? It sort of reminds me of some of the people who are posting the incorrect comment. They'll give you a stimulus check if you take a vaccine. That's not the law. That's not any of the proposals. But there's some crazy wacko senator who wrote a bill that said a vaccine if you take a stimulus check if you take a vaccine. But when I look at, so that is not happening anytime soon ever. But when I look at this one of these proposals for the CR that talks about FPUC, it looks like they're trying to get away with just giving you, FPUC now in December, and then we'll just pick it up in February. Oh, and about those 5 months, just forget about it. It's a long time ago. Just forget. I just sense they're trying to forget about it by messing it up. So I don't think it's going to pass. Joe Biden in the last 24 hours has said, you know what? Whatever they're doing with FPUC, it's a hot mess. I'm taking care of FPUC in January. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay you FPUC retroactive to August at $600 a week. I'll do that again. Joe Biden is representing that FPUC will not be taken care of now. He's going to take care of FPUC in January at $600 a week, retroactive to August. Between you and I, these are my thoughts. One, I don't want FPUC in this continuing resolution for 3 weeks, $900. Give us a stimulus check and then do the FPUC the correct way in the second week of January. Don't mess up FPUC a wrong way so we never get the FPUC a right way. I think that Republicans are going to agree to that. I think that's what Joe Biden's going to say. Next, the $600 of FPUC is confusing because it is predicated upon the belief that $600 a week will pass the Senate. $600 a week will never pass the Senate if the Senate's in control by the Republicans. So will Joe Biden negotiate off of $600 a week? He has to. I mean, he will never pass $600 a week in the Senate in January if the Senate's controlled after the Atlanta runoff election, the Georgia runoff election. Finally, this retroactiveness of FPUC. I got to advise you, when we're looking at July, August, September, October, November, December, 5 months, which is 20 weeks of FPUC at $600? 20 weeks at $600? What is that, $12,000? Is that $12,000? Joe Biden is going to be able to convince the GOP to send you $12,000 retroactive in FPUC. God bless him, because that's a hard call. That's a lot of money. Now, $400 a week, that's $8,000. Even $8,000 is a lot of money. Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin had it at about $400 to $600 a week starting in September a few weeks ago. But the longer we go out in the future, the more retroactive we have to do, and that's my concern. With that, ask me your questions now that you have, if you have any, about unemployment, PUA, or FPUC, escalated benefits, or enhanced benefits. What do we have to do to get state stimulus checks? Nothing. You really almost have to do nothing. Thank you for the nice comment, Elke. I appreciate that. My husband got an email about his back FPUC dating back to March. Hopefully it comes through. It will come through. Where'd you get your shirt? I think it's a guess, actually. Do they extend the unemployment in California? They did not yet. I still haven't gotten my unemployment from earlier July to October. Oh, you got to call them. That's a long time, Adrian. Minnesota has a grant for rent until December 6th. Oh, so do the volunteers hear that? Tony just said Minnesota has a rent grant to December 7th. That's great news. Why is Michigan taking so long on helping us? When I launched this channel on April 25th, some states didn't pay it for months. I did draw my FPUC. I worked in 2019. Can I get it now? Yeah. If the person asking, I didn't draw it, if your weeks of unemployment are this year, certainly go get them. Florida unemployment extended to January 2nd. Oh, that's great news. So Christian says Florida has extended its unemployment to January 2nd. Learn something just right there. Thank you for that comment. My son is moving from Maine to Massachusetts, still receiving the last extension of 13. The cross-territorial questions about unemployment is very, very difficult. I have no answers for that. What do you do to get a week? So you have to certify all of your weeks. FPUC retroactive for September. Yeah, that's what Joe Biden says he's going to get you. Actually, August. I'm so sorry. August, not September. Will PU be retroactive to July too? That's what Biden is promising in his third stimulus package in January. Do you think they'll ever give us any help? I think they will. Is SSIDI going to get a raise? Yes, that'll be a standalone bill, the standalone bill that I talk about. Julie's asking a question about FPEUC. What's your question, Julie, about FPEUC? California has a 20-week extension on UI. And when does that 20-week end, Scott? I just got extension for, oh, it went too fast. Sorry. Oh, will it be extended? So when FPEUC is likely to get extended to the end of January. The viewer is asking, will FPUC, which is those additional weeks of unemployment, will it get extended? Yes, I believe so, because those weeks are expiring in just a few days, and both of the CR proposals are to extend it to late January. Someone just said that California is giving extended weeks of benefits to April. I did not know that. Is that true? That California is giving additional weeks, when we talk about extended weeks, there's state extended weeks where they can extend the number of weeks beyond what they normally have in the case of emergency. And so someone just said they had heard that California is extending UI to April for people who have been on unemployment since March. California is not giving extended works. I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard that at all. So I don't think that's accurate. That's why I was asking if it was something that was just announced in the last few minutes. I had not heard that. I've only heard about Hawaii. And in fact, someone said last night California had not extended extra weeks of UI. Illinois free utilities. I think Illinois might have been one of the states that offered extended weeks. The way you learn if they're offering extended weeks, you go on your state's unemployment website and they will make an announcement, or they'll send you an alert in your portal. My benefits expire 4/21 in April 21 in Indiana, someone said. Increase in weekly UI benefits. So that's escalated benefits. That's what we talk about on this channel, where you send them a copy of 2019 tax return and say, hi, do I qualify for extra weeks of benefits? The t-shirt is a guess. Thank you for now. I think it's guess. Yeah, I think it's guess. Is Massachusetts doing anything at all? Yes. Any other questions about unemployment? What about Louisiana? I haven't heard if Louisiana is extending the weeks of unemployment. Is a jacket blue or black? That's a really good question. It is really almost light black or super, super dark blue. It even looking at it, I would call it really black. I mean, it's basically almost black. Oh, thank you for the share. What about New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Michigan? I have not heard. So what you want to do is go to your state's unemployment site and see if they have announced escalated benefits. What I've been, excuse me, extended benefits. Extended benefits means extended weeks of benefits, more weeks of benefits. Escalated benefits means higher payments per week. Um, Someone said I could send you the EDD web's article. So someone says there's a debate in the chat about whether California is doing extra weeks or not doing extra weeks. I don't know. Um, what's important to understand is hit that alert on your state's unemployment website so you get an alert when something new comes out for extra weeks, and you want to be sure you don't miss that. So there you go. Julie, question about escalated benefits. Ask the question again because I missed it. Julie, you can ask the question again about escalated benefits. How do I get an appeal done faster for unemployment? Oh, they're just slow. I had one viewer had to go through an appeal, and it took him 3 months, but he won everything. He got $24,000. One of my original viewers. Are grants only for rent, utility, and housing only? Yeah, they're generally for yeah. Oh, and food and medicine. In some rare cases, they're for businesses or hazard pay, but very, very rare. An additional $300 before year ends. I don't see it happening. That one of the proposals, the moderates put that in there. I just don't see it happening. It looks very confusing, and if they do, then so be it. It's a good thing. But I just think it's very confusing putting it in there. Do you know if I have an extension in Maine? I don't know. Has anyone had a success for escalated benefits in Ohio? I don't know about Ohio. I just got $74,000. Carlos Barba. Wow. Carlos, what did you get $74,000 for? Carlos Barba, what did you get $74,000 for? When are people going to get the SSI increase? That would come in a separate bill in January. I clean offices. Do I qualify for PUA? So if you're an independent contractor and your weeks and your place of work has been shut down, or you can't reach your place of work because of a lockdown, or you're not getting as many hours of work, like you're getting 6 hours of work instead of 40, then you can possibly qualify for PUA. Stimulus checks in Massachusetts, not heard that yet. Would the escalated benefits go back from when you first applied? Absolutely. So that's the concept of escalated benefits. It's basically saying that the amount you were paid during 2020 is not the amount you should have been paid, that you're paid $100 a week. But instead you should have been paid, $300 a week. Absolutely, it's retroactive. So everyone's asking Carlos, what was the $74,000 for? Uh, do I qualify for PUA if you're unemployed? Yes, if you're an independent contractor or sole practitioner. Stimulus check in December. Well, if they get it done, it would land in December. Absolutely. What do you think their chances are of getting the $1,200 stimulus check before December? I think I see incredible movement. I've never seen movement like this. If you had asked me this question on Wednesday, I would have said, we're climbing a steep hill. Now I think it's real. The movement has really changed. Everyone's asking Carlos what the 74,000 is. I don't know if he left the room, but Certainly a big question. He said, "Thank you, LA, for helping me get 74,000. I'm not quite sure what the 74. I'm assuming it's an EIDL, but I'm not quite sure what this. Not quite sure what it was." Does it look like Congress is going to get shut down on the 11th? You know, that's a great question from Ricky. I think it's more dependent on whether they want to get shut down. Uh, Mitch McConnell has said he would be happy to shut it down, and I don't think that the president of the United States be be against it. So, is it possible they get shut down? It could happen. How do I apply for renter's assistance in Ohio? So we have a volunteer. Oh, there's Grandma Ducky. Thank you for joining and thank you for the super chat. We do have a dedicated volunteer just for Ohio. So if you have questions about Ohio, certainly reach out to that person. Jay Petrini is awesome. All the volunteers have absolutely gotten wonderful praises from everyone. Not all of them message me on a regular basis, so I don't hear all the details from all of them. But I see incredible praises from a lot of them on the live chats. What happened after receiving extended benefits and we get more benefit from Biden? Do we renew or do we have to reapply for EDD? So that's a really great question. You don't have to do of everything for unemployment, you don't have to do anything except three events. Apply originally. So get your application on file originally. Two, certify for benefits every week. And three, do escalated benefits to raise your benefits on a weekly basis if you haven't done that. Other than that, you don't have to do anything else. You always have to keep on certifying for weekly benefits if you are still unemployed. Other than that, you don't have to do anything. Now, if you're one of those viewers who has gone off of unemployment because you lost your weeks ran out, and the state's telling you to reapply, I really plead for you and hug you because that is a difficult, confusing situation. I don't even know how to explain on camera, so I'm not going to expect to explain that I can. I'm not going to try to manifest that I can explain that for people who ran out of weeks and then have to reapply and then go back on application. I don't understand that whole process. All I do know is for people who apply and are still have an active application, then all you have to do is keep on certifying. Well, I guess we never found out what he got the 75,000 for. I guess did we find out what he got the 75,000 for, Carlos? I guess we did not. I assume it's EIDL. I mean, there's Rory. Oh, we're congratulating Rory about something. I'm not sure what Rory got either. Do I call now after no answer on escalated? So if you applied for escalated and you've not heard back, you absolutely have to call. What I always say with all these things is as soon as you put the application in, call the next day and call every single day. Call every single day. Don't stop calling because if you sort of roll over and not call, then things just don't happen. And believe me or not, people have applications just sitting around from 5 months ago. They're like, "Oh, should I have called?" I'm like, "Yeah, you should have called." Thank you, Myra, for the nice comment, and thank you, Gridion. I do sleep. I need a little bit more though. And with that, well, thank you for tonight's live chat of Being a Mitch. Join me on Evening's Check coming up next. And then also for Purple Power Live. If you've not watched Afternoon's Check, watch it in the video below. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save LA for more.